Szalona sytuacja Tytana TV-mana. Mamy to przecieki i ciekawe co na myśli ma Iron Cameraman. Zapraszam, będziemy to analizować, komentować. Jestem ciekaw, słuchajcie, co on tutaj myśli. Czemu jest szalona sytuacja? Ja myślę, że Tytan TV-man wyzionie ducha. Tak mi się wydaje. Two steps ahead.
For those who don't know, let me briefly explain that this phrase became iconic after the release of a video on Nikocado Avocado's channel. In short, this person was very overweight, but then suddenly became thin.
No właśnie, no ale to czemu do niego? To czemu Two Steps? To jego film jest?
In the video, he talks about how he's been losing weight for the past 2 years, even though his channel was still releasing pre-recorded videos that he had made in bulk before starting his weight loss journey.
Aha, to jak on to? Nieźle.
Since Boom is using this phrase here, it means that the TV Titan's plan is incredibly genius, and it seems like he made some moves in the past that will help him defeat his opponent in...
Ale czy to na pewno plan Tytana TV-mana, czy tu chodzi o G-mana? Bo to też może tak być, że G-man jest 2 kroki do przodu zawsze.
the present. However, since all 3 characters are featured in the spoiler, it's unclear who exactly is 2 steps ahead.
No
If it
właśnie.
weren't for G-Toilet, I'd assume it was the TV Titan. But knowing how cunning G-Man is, I'm almost certain he's the one 2 steps ahead of everyone. While other
No właśnie, tu chodzi o G-mana raczej. Tak mi się wydaje.
cited victory plans, G-Man has almost always had a plan B and more well-thought-out strategies, which is
No właśnie, i tutaj być może nie chodzi o Tytana TV-mana, tylko o G-mana, nie? Bo to zawsze Boom nawet w wywiadzie mówił, że to G-man ma te plany
why he
zawsze, nie?
constantly manages to survive. I'll even say more.
Zawsze ma jakieś takie, wiecie, triki, sztuczki, które mu jakoś ułatwią ucieczkę, albo obronę, albo wygraną.
I have a theory about his plan and what exactly he's going to do, which I'll explain in more detail in the next video. Also, just so you know, I made this entire video, except for this paragraph, before I saw...
Wiecie, no G-man też nie zapomniał tego, że na przykład naukowiec został zniszczony przez Sojusz, więc ja bym tak do końca toaletą nie ufał, nie? Skibidi toilet,
However, I
nawet
didn't
tym
change
ziemskim.
anything because what I said is still relevant, and the spoilers don't contradict anything I'll discuss later. Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here, and on your screens is a breakdown of everything we currently know about the upcoming 4th part of episode 77. The thing is, Dafuk Boom shared important information with EBO-75. I also plan to ask Mr. Boom more questions about the plot.
No właśnie, tam są te informacje. Ciekawe, czy to będzie chodziło o te informacje, co mówią, że jakaś postać, której się nie spodziewamy, zostanie zniszczona, nie? Może kobieta kamera. Wy też lajkujcie, subskrybujcie i będzie dobrze.
Anyway, here we go. So, here's what Boom said. The 4th part will be longer than the 3rd one. It's his favorite part of episode 77.
Będzie
The
dłuższa i
episodes take so
ulubiona.
long to release because creating epic battles takes an enormous amount of time and effort. Dafuk has been trying to assemble a team for a long time.
A, czyli to jest
but
ta
each
stara
time he has
wiadomość,
to
nie?
redo someone else's animation from scratch. The next part will be delayed due to SFM bugs. He remembers promising to release episodes more frequently and is working on it, but it's not that simple. And finally, we'll see the 4th part within the next 2 weeks, if SFM doesn't bug out again. Well, Dafuk's
No pamiętajcie, że ten program jest bardzo stary, nie?
response holds quite a few interesting details. So
I
let's break them down
nieaktualizowany.
one by one. The 4th part will be longer than the 3rd. Let me remind you that the 3rd part lasted almost 5 minutes.
Kurde, to jeszcze będzie to dłuższe? Będzie miało na przykład pół minuty? 5,5 minuty?
So we can expect 6 or even 7 minutes, like in episode 74. I'd also like to add some recent answers from Boom in Discord, as they also relate to the 4th part. We're interested in the following answer. Juggernaut will fight very soon. Considering that in the 3rd part we saw Juggernaut intending to battle the TV Titan, and since their intentions are mutual, it's logical to assume that this battle will indeed take place, and won't end with the Titan teleporting back to the base at the...
Ciekawe, czyli jak ona się nie zakończy teleportacją, to znaczy, że Tytan TV-man nie może się teleportować, albo Astro toalety jakoś zakłóciły tę teleportację.
This means we shouldn't expect a record-breaking episode length, as it will focus on the fight between the Titan and Juggernaut, and creating such an animation takes a lot of time. The fourth part will be the best. Dafuk has already mentioned that he finds episode 77 the most interesting, followed by episodes 80 through 90. He also said that this episode will feature an unexpected plot twist that we haven't seen yet.
Nieoczekiwane zwrot akcji. No to, wiecie, no my się spodziewamy powrotu Tytana kamery, powrotu G-Mana, ale nieoczekiwane to co? No coś się stanie, coś G-Man, ktoś zginie, albo Tytanie jacyś zginą.
In my opinion, it's clearly not the return of the cameraman Titan, as Boom always saves the most interesting part for the finale, and the fourth part is supposed to be the final part of the episode. Dafuk also said we'd see the mothership in action, but as for the Duchess, he mentioned that she would return soon, but not too soon.
No czyli słuchajcie, Mothership być może zniszczy Tytana TV-Mana.
Considering we've already seen the promised appearance of Juggernaut, it's possible that we'll also see the Mothership in this episode or at the end of it. However, this wouldn't be the unexpected twist either. So, what could it be? The return
A jak Mothership zniszczy Tytana TV-Mana?
of the cameraman Titan? Well, we already know from the UFO's dialogue with the Duchess that he survived and shook off the Astro. So that wouldn't be much of a surprise. Then, could it be the return of the speaker Titan? Both yes and no. On one hand, repairing his severe damage in such a short time would be miraculous. On the other hand, we haven't seen much of the speaker men lately, nor upgrades for their Titan. He's the only one in his faction who hasn't undergone a full upgrade yet. Perhaps, all this time, the speaker men have been developing parts for rapid field repair of their Titan, as well as upgrades that, if not equaling his power to the cameraman and TV Titans, would at least unlock his speed potential. We've already seen what Astro's lightning-fast units can do against the TV
No tutaj mógł tarczy użyć Tytan TV-Man, tak jak G-Man to zrobił, nie?
speakers. The return of Speaker Titan 3.0 and a victory over Juggernaut
Czemu wszyscy myślą, że Tytan dostanie ulepszenie? Ja nie wiem. No nie wiem.
would indeed be the plot twist Dafuk hinted at. Alternatively, we could be facing a more tragic fate. We might witness the death of both the TV Titan and the cameraman Titan, returning to help his comrades. We've already seen his willingness to sacrifice himself in episode 74, and a repeat of that wouldn't be surprising, making it another potential plot twist. However, it's unlikely that the TV Titan's plan was to die meaninglessly on the battlefield, something he
No
criticized.
właśnie. Tytan TV-Man raczej nie będzie. Jakiś ma plan, no zwabić tu te mocne jednostki, tylko ciekawe po co, nie? Żeby pozbierać cząstki?
The TV Titan would likely teleport him away immediately, unless he too is eager to fight, as their chances together would be much higher. Let's move on to the topic of episode creation and team building for it. It's no secret that with each episode, the complexity of the animation has increased, and with it, the time required to produce an episode. People unfamiliar with SFM have long suggested that Boom form a team, naively believing that 10 animators would produce an episode 10 times faster. There are several problems with this assumption.
To znaczy, jeżeli ci animatorzy są tak dobrzy w animacji, używając tego programu, to zrobią to oczywiście szybciej będzie produkcja. Natomiast po tym, jak widzimy, że jest dużo problemów z tym programem, moim zdaniem powinni przejść na inny program.
First, all the animators would have to be on Dafuk's level, and those can be counted on one hand. Second, no one is immune to simple misunderstandings, as only Dafuk Boom knows exactly what kind of episode he wants to create in the end, which would mean revisions here and there. And here lies the main issue. SFM is so buggy that even changing anything in your own project is risky. And when there are several projects, the problems only multiply several times over. A great example of this is a video titled How It Feels to Suffer in SFM.
O kurde, serio? Jest coś takiego?
Key, behind the scenes, by an animator named Lazy Purple, which I highly recommend watching to understand how difficult it is to work in SFM. So, why doesn't Dafuk just switch to Blender, you may ask?
No właśnie, czemu nie przeniesie się do lepszego
For
programu?
the same reason most of you write or use a mouse with your right hand instead of your left, it would take an unreasonable amount of time to retrain in a new program.
Oj tam, mógłby się po godzinach uczyć, nie? Moim zdaniem to musi tak nastąpić zmiana programu, bo na dłuższą metę to chłop się zajedzie i tyle, nie?
In which a large portion of the current audience would lose interest in the series. This would mean lost viewers and income for Boom. So even if a full team is created someday, working in SFM won't allow episodes to be produced quickly. Even DeFook has to redo everything from scratch due to bugs and unsatisfactory animation quality. Thus, DeFook is left with only one option: to change the content of the episodes themselves. He needs to make them simpler and shorter without losing the interest factor. As you can imagine, this isn't easy.
Nie, no to znaczy tak, no to może mógłby tak zrobić, że skracamy odcinki, ale uczymy się na Blenderze, robimy zespół ludzi, którzy znają się, znaczy nawet nie mówię o Blenderze, najpopularniejszym programie do animacji, i wtedy budujemy zespół, mamy nowy program, ja się doszkalam w tym programie jako Boom i wiecie, i już jest lepiej. Tak powinien zrobić.
This is exactly what he plans to do. Therefore, after episode 77, we can expect episodes in a new, unfamiliar format. We can only hope this won't negatively affect the series, as interest in it has already been waning recently. Expectations for episodes released every 3 weeks have become incredibly high, which has left many viewers disappointed with the episodes themselves. Of course, Boom is aware of everything that's happening with his series and is responding to it.
No on ma tam ludzi, którzy mu na pewno, wiecie, doradzają. Moim zdaniem zmiana programu to jest coś, co musi zrobić.